With over 110,000 already on the roads and ambitious plans for many more, the Dutch have really started to embrace electric cars. To explain the reasons why is Annabel van Zandt from Living Labs Smart Charging, a think tank focused on electrifying transport.
In the Netherlands, over the past couple of years, we have really worked on a nationwide network of charging infrastructure. So you can almost be certain that when you drive somewhere, there will be at least 1 or 2 charging points.
In fact, in the Netherlands, a country about half the size of our own, there are over 27,000 public chargers, while back in Ireland, there are a little more than 1,200.
Annabel, we're trying to move towards a future where we decarbonise our transport system. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing in the Netherlands to achieve this.
Well, first of all, it's really important to get this model shift. So people who are now traveling by car, get them, for instance, to cycles. But then the big challenge is also the transportation that is there. And you know that you can't just get rid of all the cars. How do you make them as sustainable as possible? And not only private cars, but also buses and trains.
Do you expect the number of electric vehicles to grow in the Netherlands over the coming years?
Yes, what we already see is that the number of electric cars is increasing significantly and almost in an exponential way. And as the Netherlands, we have made an agreement that in 2025 we want 1 million electric cars.
Tell me a little bit about the challenges of doing that.
We run into several grid issues. So how can we balance the grid with more electric cars that will charge at the same time in the morning and in the evening, more renewable energy that has a different pattern, so it's more or less produced over the day. And how can we combine those two and how can we couple them in an efficient way? And in the Netherlands, we believe that part of it is really using the battery of an electric vehicle as a vital element in this. So you can charge your car when there is plenty of solar, wind and renewable energy. And in the evening, when there is a high peak load on the grid, you can use the energy from your car and not transport all the energy in the grid.
So you're talking about integrating the system, you're talking about making this a smart system where the car works with the grid.
Yeah, so what we see now, and we also try to research this and we do a lot of tests to make this a standard, not only in the Netherlands but internationally. So in the Netherlands there are indeed pilots and there are certain areas that already make use of this concept.
What Annabel described is fascinating. To see it in action, I went to meet Robin Berg, an entrepreneur who has turned this concept into an exciting new business.
We started actually as an internet company, and then we really started looking for better ways to make a better business case for solar. So now we use electric cars as storage for renewable energies here in the neighborhood, and the cars are being used in a car sharing program.
Robin's business model is ingenious, using the electric car battery to help balance the natural fluctuations of renewable energy. This means that when supply is high, the cars are charging on cheap renewable power. But when supply is low, they return some of that stored energy to power homes.
So you have a huge battery right in front of your house. It can power up your house for like 2 weeks, and that's just sitting there just for driving. And basically, for driving, you use only like a quarter of the battery for your daily commute. But most of the time, you don't use the rest of the battery in your car. And that's really a waste.
And at the moment, are you in a situation where your car can power up your house, or is the infrastructure not there yet for that?
Yeah, we actually had the first charging station in Europe that could do both ways. So not only charging on the sun, but also discharge the car. And basically, we can run now for 24 hours a day on our own solar power by using the car battery as a storage.
How many of these type of chargers are there where you can both charge up your car but also discharge it? Are they becoming more frequent?
Yeah, we have now like 50 of those chargers here in the Utrecht region, and we are scaling up, and that will in the end make it a cleaner and cheaper system.
His ambitions don't stop there. He's taken this a step further with the car sharing scheme.
Okay, so tell me a bit about then this shared car scheme.
What we did is basically offer a car in a car sharing program in which people for 100 euros a month can actually drive a fully electric car on a daily basis.
Yeah. And this is one of your cars here then, is it?
Yeah, this is one of the cars we are using. We have now like 30 of these cars in operation. And we have a really simple app which you can use to open it up.
Can you show me?
Yeah, sure. And just click open and then check in. So that's basically how simple it is, and now I can start and drive.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And everything comes from solar energy. Everything that fuels this car is all solar.
Yeah, these charging stations are connected directly to our solar installations on the roofs of the schools we have here.
I love the pragmatism the Dutch bring to transport and new technologies. So it made me wonder if the same ingenuity is applied to that quintessentially Dutch way of getting around, cycling. Utrecht transport engineer Frans Jan van Rossum decided there was only one way to tour his city.
So tell me a bit then about this bridge and these cycle lanes here.
Yeah. Well, this used to be a car-oriented street. Lots of cars running through the streets. Also lots of bicycles before with cobblestones. And we wanted to better this infrastructure for cyclists. And this is connecting our newest suburb of Leidse to the inner city. And this is the busiest cycling point in the whole city.
How busy are we talking about?
On this route, there's an average of 34,000 cyclists per day, east to west, and we have a peak one day in summer, 41,000 users per day.
41,000 people passing this point every day.
Those are numbers that you normally see only on highways, car highways, this large number of cyclists.
So I mean, in theory, that's taking up to 41,000 cars off the road.
Yeah.
Okay, Frans, so should we head on, I suppose?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Hopefully. Frans, I mean, this is all wonderful and it's beautiful, but it feels like it must cost an absolute fortune.
Well, it costs a lot of money, of course, but compared to car infrastructure, it's nothing.
Wow.
So a bridge for cars like this, for 2 lanes, will cost you probably twice as much or maybe 3 times as much.
And do you have an annual budget for investing into cycling infrastructure?
Yeah, I have a 4 annual budget, 4 years, and the budget in total is 190 million euros.
So it's around about 50 million euro a year?
Yeah.
So then, tell me a little bit more about this 50 million. It just seems like a lot of money to me.
Yeah, well, in absolute terms, maybe a lot of money. But if you see what the societal benefits are of these investments, they are huge. We calculated in total annual 250 million benefits, societal benefits per year.
So you're putting in 50 million and you reckon you're saving 250 million?
Yes.
How is that possible?
Well, it's possible because if you calculate how much money you earn because you have less traffic jams, you have better health for people who use the bikes. If you all calculate it together, we have a model for that, then you come up with the amount of 250 million euros just for the city of Utrecht. More and more people want to live in cities, and the problem of moving around is getting more and more important. How do you do that? Can you facilitate it with cars? No, it's impossible. There's not enough space. We have a medieval town with very narrow streets, and it's not possible for everybody to go there by car, simply. That's very simple. So I think the last maybe 10 years, especially in Utrecht, mobility products have been turned towards cycling more and more and more. No, and actually the car drivers, they benefit the most because there's not so much traffic jams.
Our bike trip around town was an enlightening experience. Cycling here is treated as an equal. It's just another mode of transport, and the evidence is in the planning and investment. The transport system is so well designed here, with so much choice, that cars are now banned from some city centre streets. And instead of opposition, shops and cafes once reluctant are now asking for more pedestrianised streets, as business has never been better.
I'm here in Utrecht, which is about half an hour south of Amsterdam. And what I'm finding is it's not just taxis and it's not just cars, but an awful lot of public transportation system is also electrified. Right here, there's an induction plate on the road, and as the bus pulls in, which is pulling in right now, we're going to see passengers getting on and off, but the bus is actually charging itself up off the road as this is happening.
It's obvious that the Dutch are reaping the rewards from their investment in clean, sustainable transport infrastructure.
The Netherlands is proving that transport can be sustainable, but it's not just one thing, it has to be an entirely integrated system. They have so many electric cars here, they have buses that are starting to be electrified, and everybody seems to cycle everywhere. And the cities have a great feel about them. They seem to be a really nice place to live and they work together. This is a template that we could bring anywhere, and it's really inspirational.